Hey everybody, Jay Super Awesome here. I'd like to welcome you all to episode number 9 of my Slasher Movie Archives. In this video, I will be giving my review for Cupid, released in 1997. Death has a new dark angel. Okay, so getting into the plot for this one. Eric Rhodes is not the charming young writer he appears to be after he murders a young woman after a date because he believes she wasn't destined to be with him. In Eric's mind, he is fated to find one true love, just like in the ancient myth of Cupid. Eric's obsession with Cupid again turns into deadly reality when he meets another woman at a local bookstore. But Eric's dark past, which includes the unsolved murder of his parents and former lover, is uncovered. I'm also going to give the plot description that IMDb has listed for Cupid. I always find these to be really interesting, and it's usually a simpler breakdown. A brother and a sister with a past incestuous relationship have a current murderous relationship. He murders the women who reject him, and she murders the women who get too close to him. Okay, so getting into my thoughts for this one. Cupid is a suspenseful thriller-style slasher movie that I have always enjoyed. I remember seeing it when it was originally released, and then maybe one other time shortly after that, but I hadn't watched it since the 90s. I was really interested to see if this one still held up, and I have to say, it did not disappoint. I still really enjoy this movie. It's definitely a hidden horror gem from the 1990s. I like the way the movie was shot and filmed. It definitely has that 90s vibe to it, not only with the clothing and the hairstyles, but the overall look of the movie. I would almost say that it looks like a 90s movie that was made for TV, but I feel like the quality was a little better than that, so I don't mean any of that in a negative way. I also really enjoy the storyline for this movie, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about the characters we have in Cupid. Eric is the main character in this movie storyline. Eric is played by Zach Galligan, who is known for Gremlins 1 and 2 and Waxworks 1 and 2. I think he's a great actor, and he gives another fantastic performance in this movie. Eric was born on Valentine's Day, and he is obsessed with the story of Cupid and Psyche. He has lived his entire life believing that he is fated to meet his one true love, that destiny will bring them together. Eric is a writer, and he's pretty well off. He lives in a beautiful mansion with his sister. There's Cupid statues all over the property, inside and out. One Cupid statue in particular, Eric will place a rose at Cupid's feet and then just stare blissfully at the statue. It's almost as if he worships Cupid, and I guess truthfully, he does. We also have Jennifer, played by Ashley Lawrence, who is a fantastic actress, and she gives a top-notch performance in this movie. She's mostly known for being in some of the Hellraiser films, and she's probably the most important non-Cenobite character in that entire franchise. She was also in another movie that I really enjoy called Lurking Fear. It's a H.P. Lovecraft adaptation. It was put out by Full Moon. Anyway, when Eric and Jennifer meet at a bookstore where Eric is a regular customer and Jennifer is interviewing for a job, it's love at first sight for Eric. Eric begins to pursue Jennifer to the point of stalking her. He watches her from outside her window, only to later break in and read her personal diary so he can further his chances of getting with her. Jennifer is coming off a hard breakup and is still being pursued by her ex-boyfriend Richard, and Richard is a pretty important side character to the movie's overall storyline. Jennifer is interested in Eric because he is completely different than Richard. Eric is charming and seems to have his life together and is saying all the right things. Eric is also there for Jennifer when tragedy strikes, so Jennifer has completely bought into Eric's charming ways, but she will soon realize that things are not quite what they seem. Some of the other important side characters that we have in Cupid are Jennifer's supportive sister Susan and Eric's incestuous sister Dana. That's right, Eric and his sister Dana have a past incestuous relationship, but that's over now for Eric, but not for Dana. She still desires her brother. Overall, I really enjoyed the characters that we have in Cupid, and I thought the acting was top-notch. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the most important part of a slasher movie, that is the killer and the kills. Eric and Dana are the villains of this movie storyline. Cupid is the kind of slasher movie that you know right away within the opening moments of the movie who the killer is going to be. So that's not a spoiler. If there was any kind of mystery surrounding the killer's identity, I wouldn't be telling you. But this movie lets it be known right away. I have already talked about Eric in quite a bit of detail already, but I absolutely love the setup for this villain character in this movie. Eric is a writer and has been writing a story about Cupid and Psyche. He is fascinated with them and how they were meant to be together and how they were challenged and tempted by other suitors, but in the end, true love had prevailed. He believes that he is fated for the same destiny. In Eric's story about Cupid and Psyche, he has gone back through the manuscript and marked out the names Cupid and Psyche and has replaced them with Eric and Jennifer. So yeah, that's not psycho at all, and it just goes to show you how serious and how obsessed he is with Jennifer. We also find out that Eric and Dana's parents were murdered when they were much younger, and Eric had been locked away at Smith's Grove Sanatorium for several years, and I suspect that slasher movie fans know all about Smith's Grove Sanatorium. I thought that was a nice little touch. As far as the kills go, the movie has a decent body count. I believe we have somewhere around 4 or 5 kills, so this is definitely not a high body count movie. We have a person getting pushed down a flight of steps, a person gets smothered to death with a plastic bag, and of course a person gets an arrow through the heart. Overall, the kills were pretty fun, but a little tame compared to what I'm used to. There's not really any blood to speak of, but overall, Cupid is a highly enjoyable, suspenseful thriller-style slasher movie. I'm going to recommend it for its love and obsession theme. It's perfect to watch on Valentine's Day or anytime throughout February. Also, I thought the acting performances were top-notch in this movie. IMDb give it a 4.3. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. So please like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know if you have seen Cupid, or just let me know what you think about my review. And as always, I would like to thank you all for watching.